Hello everyone and welcome back to another Lexmoto ride out. Today I have an absolute treat of a ride ahead of me because we have the brand new XDV 300 to test out. So what's all the fuss been about? Let's find out. So there it is guys, the XDV 300. This is a proper bit of kit and a real serious scooter. This is in a metallic blue colour. There's just one colour for the XDV 300 and gotta say it's a very premium metallic blue that really does give this bike a proper serious look to it. And also just to note, right now I'm riding it without the full luggage, but the first batch of bikes that we have released come with the full luggage set completely free of charge, which is a huge deal. I'll flash up a picture of the luggage now so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, you get the top box and both the panniers, and that is a lot of luggage space for anyone that's looking to take this bike on a proper adventure. You are set and ready to go on the XDV 300. But enough of this, let's jump in and take it for a spin. So here we are on board, and you'll notice right away that we have a keyless ignition with this bike. So just a little button on here unlocks the bike, and then I've got full controls just underneath the handlebars to switch it to open the seat or open the fuel tank, or lock the bike with the wheel lock, or turn the bike on. And there we go. So this is really handy actually. If you just keep this key in your pocket, you can basically come up to the bike, turn it on, and not have to like keep putting the key in every single time you turn it on and off. Very handy for people that are on and off their bikes in quick succession. You won't be able to open this bike up unless you've got the key in close proximity to the bike. Once you have it, you realise how useful it really is. Alright, let's get into it. Let's take this for a ride. I can see my fuel is flashing, so we'll head straight to a petrol station and fill her up. And yeah, let's find out all the interesting details about this bike. Let's do it. And we're off on our XDV adventure. So usually I go through the dash while we're sat down, but I thought I might as well do it while we're riding along. And we have a 5-inch LCD display up here, which is again crystal clear. It's kind of got this like blue tinge to it as well, so it matches the bike. It looks really cool. And within there you've got your mile per hour. It's so visible right in the middle, very easy to read. Another feature that this bike has, and it's showing up on the dash, is the tyre pressure monitoring system, so I can see exactly how many PSI I've got on my tyres, which is super useful when you're doing like longer trips. You don't want to be caught out with a flat tyre, or you want to know when your tyre seems to be leaking air. Having it up on the dash is just such a quick and easy reminder of the health of your tyres, and really just a safety feature if anything. Also up on the dash we have a rev counter, which just goes up and around the miles per hour. Not that you can change gear on this bike as it's fully automatic, but it's also it's just useful to see where your revs are at and how much the bike is working to get you along. We also have the time on there. There's an engine temperature sensor. There's also an ambient temperature sensor, which when you have it is actually really useful to see as well, like especially when you're riding through winter. You want to know if it's like -degrees on the road. It's just one of those things that keeps you in check, and generally just like lets you know when it's starting to be warm. Like I know when it's like 12 degrees out, I can wear my summer gloves, which are into now. I'm filming this in late April and I've just switched into summer gloves, which feels amazing. Feel free again. And yeah, is there anything else? Got the little fuel gauge obviously in the corner. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the display, with it being right in the center there. Perfect eye line. I can just glance at it quick and easily. We've got cast alloy rims on this bike, and it's 13 inches front and rear, and those cast alloy rims are wrapped in these like all-terrain tyres, you know, a bit more of like a mixed road and off-road sort of feel to them. Got those sort of crosshatch grooves. If you were to take this onto some dirt, it wouldn't slide out immediately with like road tyres would. As this bike is geared towards adventures, it's great to have that option and those features there for you. So the brakes that we have on this bike, we've got 240mm discs on the front and 220mm on the back with dual piston calipers and ABS, which is a hugely great feature. It's come in handy a couple of times already, I've got to say, and it really does a fantastic job of helping me stop safely without skidding out. I've also found out that there is another feature of this bike, that when you emergency brake, the hazard lights will automatically come onto this bike, so cars or whoever's riding behind you will immediately know that you've emergency braked and should warn them or give them a bit more of a notice sooner, which I thought was a really cool little feature actually. I've not seen that on a bike just yet. We won't get into how I found that one out. Okay, so moving back on from the brakes, we've got a full KYB suspension setup on this bike, upside down front forks, and then dual gas charged rear shocks at the back, so you got two of them behind. The ride on this bike is extremely smooth. Yeah, also on the rears, what's going on there? Also on the rears you have adjustable preload, so if you did have a pillion passenger, you can twist it around and set it up just right for what you need. Or if you're carrying a lot of stuff on the back and you want to strengthen it up a bit, you can do so on this suspension. Hopefully you can hear me in here. It's another windy day down in Devon, riding a 278cc scooter. It feels so nice just to have that extra power just at the throttle right now. And the first thing you'll feel when you jump on this scooter, like with the suspension, is just how smooth it is. Such a smooth throttle response here, and no problems whatsoever in making some overtakes. We're up to 63 miles an hour in no time at all. This bike itself, it weighs 168 kilograms, that's wet weight, which is actually pretty light for a scooter of this sort of size, but still it's substantial, and it feels so secure on the road. No rattles, no vibrations or anything. Very, very good quality. Alright, let's fill up here. I'm on pretty much empty, and let's see how much it costs. Bit of a downhill slope here, make sure we don't lose the bike. Let's pop it this way, put it into seat and fuel mode here, tap the fuel button and the lid will come up. E10 for this bike. I reckon it's going to be about £1. And there we go, full. £13.42. Let's go and pay for it. Thank you. Cheers mate, thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you and thank you. So as I was saying, with the keyless ignition, in moments like this I can just come back to the bike, jump on, switch it up, and we're off. Don't have to faff around with a key, and we're back on the road. So as we move back from the suspension, you can see right in front of us here we have a little windscreen, and this has got a 3-stage adjustable windscreen on here. Underneath it there's these two little black like twisty dial things, and you just pull those out and then you can adjust the screen to be basically flat or upright, as I have now. I have it more upright at the moment, which really does help with buffeting the wind all around me, especially when we're on the motorway, which is where we're heading to now. But yeah, you don't need any tools or anything like that to adjust it. Yeah, with some windscreens you have to unscrew them and then put them into place and then screw them back in, but this one on the go, change it to what suits you. I've put about 400 miles on it, and I've been using it pretty much on the motorway every day, doing a 50-mile round trip, and the wind, it just about goes around my helmet and definitely buffets the wind away from my body, which when you're doing longer trips, and I don't know, you might be touring on this bike, it will help with like fatigue at the end of the day after a long ride. If you're just on a naked bike, you're really taking the full brunt on your body. So hats off to the little windscreen at the front here, it does a great job. As we get into 60 miles an hour, no problem. A little bit busy on here today. Little check of the shoulder, and I'll get us over into the fast lane right away, because that's where this bike can easily sit. And there we are, up to 70 miles an hour, no problem. As you can probably see and hear, it is one of those proper English springtime. It's sunny but raining right now. Classic. What we'll do, check back in for the Telegraph Hill Challenge. Let's do it. Here we go, we are entering the hill now. Alright, so we'll skip round this. So I'm actually doing 63 up this hill and haven't lost any power at all, which is phenomenal coming from this 278cc liquid cooled engine. We've got about 25 horsepower getting to the rear wheel, more than enough to absolutely smash the Telegraph Hill Challenge. So we're gonna head off from the dual carriageway now, and we're gonna, oh well, we were gonna take the scenic route towards the beach, but apparently the road is closed. And here we are, straight up to 70 miles an hour. I do really hope you can hear me, because it's so windy in here right now. Let's get along this road, we'll get to the next exit, and we'll head down towards Dawlish. So there it is, we have made it off the motorway and the dual carriageway now. I'm pretty sure you could sit on there all day long with this thing. Like I said, I do a 50-mile round trip every day as my daily commute with this bike, and I have no problems whatsoever in doing it. The handlebars themselves are these wide adventure style aluminium handlebars, and having this extra width here, it feels so secure when I'm going through the corners, and you don't have that like twitchiness that you have with like really short thin scooter handlebars. Like this wide grip like this is just perfect for feeling the road, and then definitely not too wide for filtering as well. I'm not sure if we'll have a chance to do that on this ride out or not. Hopefully we do, and I can show you that the bike just fits through the gaps so easily. Obviously if you've got the luggage on the back, that does stick out a fair bit, the panniers do come out a bit, so you have to be very conscious of that. So another awesome feature on this bike that comes as standard is the heated grips. Now I've got to say, the heated grips themselves are, I think, just my like naughty little pleasure, especially now wearing the summer gloves. If I am traveling on the motorway, the windshield does still, you know, you can still feel it, but just whack on the heated grips and oh my god, I've never had heated grips on a bike before. It's like changed my life. Well, you know what they say, once you go heated, you never go back. So you got a 3-stage heated grips as well. So you go onto green, that's your first stage, amber, yellow, your second. Well, I always just put it onto red, and you can really feel it just coming through onto your palms of your hands and onto your fingertips, and it really just takes the edge off. I don't know what it is, it just feels so nice. And yeah, as coming standard on this bike, for a lot of people you'll be riding this bike throughout the whole year, and you won't have to switch out your grips straight away to get those heated ones on there. Save yourself quite a bit of money. And you've got them as standard on this bike. Then the levers, you've got adjustable front brake and adjustable rear brake, so you can change it to the setting that fits your hand size the best. Don't have to stretch or feel like you're pressing the levers up against your fingers if you got like fat farmer fingers. I say that because I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but farmers always seem to have the fattest fingers. It's crazy, like proper sausage fingers. Nothing against it, but just something that I've noticed. Also something that you can't actually see in the daylight, but when you're riding at night, around the dials here and the switches, they've got this really nice like blue light that just goes around, and it just looks really cool. You've got your hazard lights here, so put those on if you're, you know, leaving your bike in a place that you want people to notice where you're parked. Got your horn and your indicators here on the left, and then on the right side, another nice little touch is this little button here which just pops open the seat without you having to change it to the seat mode. So say if you're regularly opening your seat, maybe you're putting stuff in and out, you can just press this little button here and it pops the seat open. Obviously once you've got the key close to the bike, it won't be like anyone can just walk over and just tap the button and hey presto, you've got your swag inside. Then you've got your kill switch here and your electric start. Beautiful. Such a lovely setup to have in front here. Everything just feels premium. And we've got a 13.5 litre fuel tank, ample fuel to get you out on these trips. I've generally been getting around 150 miles per tank, so for me that's 3 trips to work and back without me having to stop and fill up. The seat itself that I'm sat on right now, incredibly comfortable. It's so soft, and there's kind of like a little divot the rider sits in, and then it raises up a little bit for your pillion passenger, and you got the pillion foot pegs behind too. Got an itchy eye. For riding 2 up on this bike, we've had 2 of us riding this bike through Cheddar Gorge. Actually, we took the bike for a little photo shoot, and there was 2 of us on the bike, myself and photographer Chris, and we're not the smallest of guys, and this bike did really well actually going up and down the hills at Cheddar Gorge. Anyone that's ridden there, you'll know it's quite a steep place, and we were up and down, no problems whatsoever taking pillion passenger on this bike. Even better when you'll have the box at the back, it will give them something to lean back on. Let's head down to the beach actually and have a little bit of a walk around, a little talk about the bike. Might just show you what happens when we do the emergency brake. I don't know how fast I have to be going, but just check there's no one behind me, and brake test coming up. There we go, you can see the flashing lights at the front there, and that bike just stopped immediately. But yeah, the good thing is the hazard lights, they'll turn off automatically after a couple of seconds, so it really is a great little bonus safety feature right there. This is Teignmouth Town for anyone that's wondering. Lovely like coloured houses and great little beach. I come surfing here quite a lot. Great fish and chips at the end of the beach there. Yeah, I'm just going to park up here, and this is what the XDV is all about, you know, getting out, the adventure, checking out new places, going to scenic spots. And there she is. Flick that and the bike's off. So if I was now to walk away, the bike would lock itself now that the key is out of distance. And there is actually an alarm on this bike, so if anyone does move it, there is this, not gonna lie, quite annoying alarm that is obviously good to let people know that someone is moving your bike. So let's have a little look underneath the seat. I'll give you a tour underneath that. So flick it over to seat, press the button and she'll pop open, and there we go. We've got a nice deep sort of dish space in there. I've got my winter gloves in here at the moment, but you can actually put a full face helmet in here. You just have to put it on its side and then it just fits underneath on this seat here. Or just loads of room. Actually, I've been doing my shopping with this bike. So useful to have that space. Obviously riding motorbikes you don't get all that storage space like that, and especially if you've got the top box or panniers on, you're laughing. You could do a full shot for a family, I reckon, on this bike. So while we're off the bike, I might as well just show you how the windscreen works. And you see these two little prongs here, you just pull those out and then you can push the windscreen down and it will flatten it. That's its completely flat stage there, which is really like aerodynamic setup. Or you can pull it up just a little bit more and that's its second stage. Or if you're doing longer trips and you want the wind deflection, pull it right up and it just clicks into place. And there you go, so quick and easy to use. And then another great little feature on this bike is the 12-volt socket, like charging point that you have on the side here. I did actually use it the other day just to test it out. I have a drone battery that I needed to charge, and I thought I'll just see if the bike charges it on the way to work, and it actually did. I just plugged it in the side here and put it into the side compartment, which has a great little storage space just for like your phones or anything that you need to put in there. And it's got this like weather sealant all around it and it clips into place. It's such a useful thing to have on here. Also within that there's a little USB charging port, so like I'm saying, if you're charging your phone, any other devices, you're pretty much covered here. You know, if you go camping on this bike, sometimes you've got those like inflatable airbeds that use a 12-volt socket, so that's perfect for this sort of stuff. You can just turn the bike on and power so many things. This is where your water coolant is for the engine, so you can just top it up there and check the levels, make sure everything's all good. Super easy to get to, and I think that pretty much covers it for everything that we need to talk about looking around the bike. So yeah, let's just head back on it now and we'll take it for another ride across the glorious coastal road to Torquay. I just want to chill down here. This is like absolutely pristine. Shall we just take a minute to appreciate the view? Alright, let's go. I just wanted to do like 2 miles an hour. The bike feels so balanced and I can just feather that throttle. Slowest speed bump ever. And then we're straight off. So what do you guys reckon about the looks of this bike? I've got to say, from a personal opinion, I think it's an absolutely fantastic looking bike. It's kind of got that aggressive front lights. It's kind of like a sporty touch, but also like a bit muscly, a bit bulky. Doesn't feel like or doesn't look like a small little scooter. As road presence is such a huge part, I feel super safe if I just want to skip round everyone here and drop back in. Oh, this thing is so agile. You really don't have any problems with chucking it into corners. Oh, I'm so glad as well that the rain stopped. You get to enjoy moments like this. This is Sheldon Bridge. You join me back on these fast country roads so we can get a feel of how the bike handles, how it does in the twisty corners. and a bit of a straight here. Like on the Telegraph Hill Challenge, the bike can just climb hills so easily. More than enough torque in the bike. And here we go. Big right hander. Brake, brake, brake. Throttle on. And then ease it round. I have actually scraped the side from leaning over a bit too much, but yeah, you don't really need to go that far over. And the bike just handles so well. Ah, what a view. For anyone that has a full license or even an A2 license to ride this bike, I can guarantee you're going to be impressed with just how smooth it is and the power that is delivered to that back wheel. Like I mentioned in the SRT ride out, I do have a bit of a soft spot for riding scooters. I don't know what it is, I just find it so much fun. Just twist and go. But this takes it to a whole new level. It's just pure class. I know it's a scooter, but it really is so much fun to ride. If it wasn't for the traffic. But we still have fun, still enjoy it. The exhaust as well, I don't know if you can hear it. There is a little bit of a rumble to it, but being a scooter, it's designed to be as quiet as possible. I'm not sure if there's going to be any aftermarket exhaust made for this one, for all you sporty loud exhaust fans out there, but we'll definitely put it into the description or the comments if Lextech do decide to do anything with it. Just the suspension, then go over those bumps, super smooth, but definitely not soft enough that you don't have the feedback on the road. Just the right amount though that I feel doesn't like jolt your back as you go over through the bumps. Another point that I'm not sure if I've mentioned just yet is the price. So this bike comes in at 4,699 and 99p, and as I mentioned, the first batch of this bike comes with the full luggage set, so that's a huge saving on that, on this bike already. I know a lot of people are going to be comparing this bike to the Honda ADV 350, and rightly so. They do look very, very similar, but with this bike coming in, I think it's like over £1,000 cheaper, and with the free luggage, I mean, I don't see why you need to pay the extra amount. As soon as you get the chance to ride this bike, you'll see that making that saving is such a wise choice. A lot of people have been asking when we release this bike, is it coming in a 125cc version? And I can confirm that there'll be two colour choices coming in the 125cc version. I won't tell you what they are just yet. You'll just have to wait and see for when we launch the bike. I think that'll be in a couple months just yet. But yes, the 125cc version of this bike will be available in the UK, and that's just going to open up so many possibilities to all you CBT riders out there. I think it's going to do so well having this adventure style scooter in the market. Obviously you got your fantastic road scooters like the Aura, the Titan, which is just a pure workhorse, and then you'll have an adventure style scooter option, which the price will be coming in at, I think it's just under £3,000. It's like £2,800, so that is a hell of a deal for a scooter like this. We'll do a full ride out on that one as soon as it comes in. Yeah, I think that wraps us up, guys, for the XDV ride out, the XDV 300 I should say. As always, please drop any questions in the comment section and we'll answer all of them. But yeah, looking forward to seeing all the new owners on this bike and hearing about your adventures. drop us a message on social media, tag us, everything that you do, we love to see it. But that's it guys, I'm going to sign out for another Lexmoto ride out. See you on the next one guys. Woo!